playoff pictures. This group has some of them.
Yeah.
They're an oddly trendy group of teams that I don't. It's not that I don't believe in any of them. I almost had the Falcons in the playoffs myself, but I can't quite figure out why they all of a sudden are popping up. At least there's a floor. And here's what I mean. I think Dak, if he's healthy, gives your team a floor. I think that Kevin O'Connell plus Brian Flores gives your team a floor, and Tomlin obviously gives your team a floor. I think those teams' ceilings this year are incredible. The ceiling and floor might be a one-bedroom, one-story house, but at least there's a floor. Boom or bust. Oh no, sorry, that's not next. I spoiled my own thing. More than spoilers. I think all three of these teams are making the playoffs. And certainly at least one of them is going to be more than just, late season spoiler. They're going to be playing late season meaningful games. I think everybody has the Pats in the playoffs here except Brew. Is that correct? Yep. I almost sold Coach on the Raiders, couldn't quite. And you guys saw Greg almost went with the Jags too. Like, more than spoilers. All right, now to the tier that I mentioned before, boom or bust. And here's what I mean. You can see how any of these four teams could boom. Like the Niners get above average instead of well below average health from their stars. Purdy gets back to, doing what he did best, running Shanahan's offense and not trying to color outside the lines. CMC has a Saquon-like, Christian McCaffrey-like impact. They're awesome. The Chargers build on what they had last year. Herbert doesn't turn the ball over. You know what I mean? They do a hypnosis before a playoff game, tell them it's a regular season game. The Broncos defense, the Bengals offense. We can see how they could boom. Any of these teams, though, that miss the playoffs because of the expectation going into the season, there's going to be some hard questions to answer about why, either for the coach or the quarterback or for the team at large. Like, why did we not fulfill our expectations? You guys are going to hate this one. The student becomes the teacher? Question mark?
Oh, this is great.
We all remember CJ putting his arm around Caleb and be like, let me teach you some things, young man. For those that maybe don't remember, is at that moment, CJ Stroud in his career had 26 touchdowns, 5 picks, an 11-6 record, and a 101 passer rating. Since that moment, he has 17 touchdowns, 12 picks, a 7-7 record, and an 85 passer rating. I'm not saying those things are related, but I'm not saying they're not. And I do wonder if this year, if the next time they play, if Caleb's not going to put his arm around CJ, he'll be like, don't worry, man. It'll get better.
Stop taking those hits.
Yeah.
Isn't that what he said to him?
Dangerous in the dance. No, we don't have time
please,
for
God
this.
Almighty.
We don't have time for it. Guys, we're doing
Hobbs,
tiers.
please do not come out right now.
Guys, don't worry about the doorbell. We don't have time for it. We're doing tiers. Thank you, though, but I understand.
That was a real...
I was scared.
I know. The Bucks and the Rams.
Ruin a good segment.
It's always awkward when, your ex and your current are in the same room together, but this is where they are.
Goodness.
And for what these two teams have in common is, nobody wants to see either of their quarterbacks or their offenses in the playoffs. Like, you guys can say that I'm too high on Baker. Baker's postseason numbers speak for themselves. And no matter how many times Bruce yells the name Jaquaski Tart, Matt Stafford's postseason numbers speak for themselves as well.
Fact.
The Hunters, these are the three NFC teams trying to run down the Philadelphia Eagles. These are the three teams that make the Eagles the hunted. The Packers adding Parsons. The Lions, who I think believe they were the best team in the NFC last year. They just had a bad time to have their worst day. And the Commanders, who obviously were not as good as Philly last year, but are ascending and were way, way ahead of schedule. All those teams believe this year they can be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl. This is a prestigious tier. And I know Sean McDermott's talked a lot about how hard it is to make 4 straight Super Bowls, how no one's going to do that again. I don't know if anyone's going to do what these two teams have done again. 5-time defending off-season champions, the Bills and the Ravens. They are like Ali Frazier of fake off-season awards. Like, they just go back and forth. Who's the team to beat? Who's got the best roster? Who's got the best quarterback? It's 5 years in a row, those two teams. That's almost as impressive as being the 3-time defending conference champion, Kansas City Chiefs.
This is why it's a committee.
Rules are rules.
Props.
The rules of the tiers are very simple. We don't have many. One of them is, however, the first tiers after a Super Bowl and the first tiers before a season, the defending champion is atop the tiers. We've never broken that rule. People are like, oh, Nick, it's a Chiefs tiers. No, it's just the Chiefs win all the Super Bowls typically.
Number. So this is weird to me because when he did another tiers, because he said that back in like March or whenever it officially was, and then he did it where he then had the Chiefs at the top, and I was like, what? He said that they have to be at the top because they won, and then I even went back and showed you the clip, and so now he's doing this, so it's a little confusing. I got to get a more flattering pause here. Okay, he looked a little. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just the season's starting. It's starting tomorrow and then Friday and then Sunday. It's just looking at these tiers right now. This is what I said with Collins herd hierarchy. It's just like, what are we to do here right now? Honestly, what are we to do here? I personally would put the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens in the top 4 category right now. That's where I would put them. And then I put the Packers, Commanders, Lions, and Broncos in their own next tier. And then after that, I'd have the Chargers, Rams, 49ers, and Bengals. Mainly that tier is like, will health and roster get the best of you? There's a lot that I love. Like, I think actually Boomer Bust is kind of legit. I think I actually have the same thing as him, except I just replaced the Broncos with the Rams there, I think is the one switch out that I have. And to be fair, I'm high on the Rams, but I just don't know what Safford's going to look like throughout the season since he's already dealing with injury. So that makes me just kind of, that just makes me, just gives me the unknown. And then I got my largest tier, which is with the Bucks, the Falcons, the Jags, the Vikings, the Raiders, and the Seahawks. And I actually wrote the Bengals twice. So I guess I put the Bengals in both that the tier above them and the tier below them, because it's really the kind of like, show me what you can do this year tier, right? Like Vikings, you got a new quarterback. Raiders, you got a new quarterback, new coaching staff. Bengals, you're supposed to show that this can be, that this is a different year with a better defense. The Seahawks, new quarterback, new offensive coordinator. Falcons, new quarterback. Bucks, new coordinator. Like, it's just really kind of like, hey, there is a lot of energy behind you all. More than spoilers, as Nick kind of put it, except I don't have the Patriots in there right now. And there you go. Right. It's just like, let's see what you have. I mean, at this point, any of the other teams that we can kind of look at, like the Giants, the Titans, the Jets, the Dolphins, it's just like, I just want to kind of sit back and wait and see. I think it's really unpredictable. How quickly can Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans get some momentum going? I think it's really unpredictable of like, what is Aaron Rodgers going to look like right now? I really don't know. I mean, I honestly don't. The Miami Dolphins feel like that they could just implode. I just don't think the coaching staff has any control over that locker room, and I think the culture is an absolute disaster. Doesn't mean that they still can't win a lot of games, because they do have the bodies there, and they do have at least the intellectual side of the coaching part. So it's just like, okay, and is Tua going to stay healthy? It's like, I don't know, and neither do you. So it's just it's a weird situation. Is there going to be a quarterback controversy with the New York Giants, right? Like, I see the New York Giants being a lot better. Of course, they're going to be a lot better this year than they were in years past. But like, I don't know right now, because they do have seemingly 2 starting quarterbacks, and I don't know if they're going to remain firm in saying we're not going to try to do anything crazy with Jackson Dart this year. We're just, no matter what happens, no matter how this season unfolds, we're just going to have him sit for the full season. I think that's an unknown right now. And what's there really to say about teams like the Carolina Panthers right now, and the Saints starting Spencer Rattler, and the Colts with Daniel Jones. I mean, what's there to say? But I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I don't think, oh, did I say the Bears? I'd put the Bears also in that same category that I put them with the Bucks, the Falcons, the Jags, the Vikings, and the Raiders. Just because it's like, again, things are supposed to be better. You got a new coach, like, let's get after it. I think I got everyone. I might have missed a team or two, trying to kind of do this quickly because I'm a little bit late to this segment. Unfortunately, I got lost recording a 30-minute clip about the Patrick Mahomes discussion, about him going in the greatest situation a quarterback has ever gone to, which is funny because that has been something that I had been saying for a pretty long time now. Now it seems like people are catching up and starting to agree. Some say that I'm a trendsetter. Some say, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, tears like this right now going into the season, I don't think there's anything just insulting, I guess, or just downright ridiculous. I just wouldn't put the team stacked like this, how they are, in terms of how it makes it look like, for instance, like a team like the Broncos, how far down they are, or the Minnesota Vikings, how far down they are. Like, that's why I got significantly more teams in each tier. And even then, it's like when I got to basket team, it's like the Bucks, Falcons, the Jags, Vikings, Raiders. Like, it's like I mentioned the Seahawks last there, just because that's what I wrote them down, but it doesn't mean that I got them like 12 places below this other team. Like, it's just more of like a reference point of where I kind of think these teams are potentially starting off with, and what their potential is, and how quickly they can rise up. I mean, I think now that the season is literally just about to begin, for me personally, it's like I find it more difficult to start to have stronger opinions right now, because I know we're about to get real information. We're about to get real data about, like, what are we watching right now? What do we see with these teams? And for me personally, I'm just like, it's just hard in a weird way. Like a month ago or 2 months ago, I would have felt more confident and had firmer opinions. But now that I know that I'm literally going to watch these teams play in what, 4 days, 5 days, whatever it is, it's just hard for me to like to feel any, to have any sense of courage, of convictions, of where to exactly put some of these teams. So I'm definitely more in like a wait and see situation right now, more than anything. But honestly, when I look at a tiers like this, I just see a lot of teams that I have a lot of belief in, right? Like, I do believe in Eagles. I do believe in the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, the Packers, the Commanders, right? Like the Broncos, the Chargers, like the Bengals. But then I do see a lot of teams where I'm just like, IU, the kind of boomer bust. Not in the traditional sense when we talk about boomer bust, but like I do see a team like the 49ers. I do think that they could be great or not so great. I do think that the Bengals could be awesome and a top team in the NFL, or not so much. Just a repeat of last year, right? Like I do see that. I do see that with the Vikings. Can J.J. McCarthy hit the ground running? Yes or no? Cleveland, definitely not the Cleveland Browns. The Chicago Bears, right? Like, I have a lot of these teams where it does feel like, man, if they get this together, they're going to be legit. And if not, it could be a series of dominoes. I would say, outside of the teams that I believe have been kind of tried and true, which are the top 4 teams right now. And even teams like the Packers, Commanders, and Lions, where I don't know, I don't have necessarily maybe as much confidence that they'll necessarily be great, but I don't have them in the category of, well, they're also this sense of like things could go wrong kind of easily. Like I don't have that sense, which is why I have them right in that second tier. But then you really do kind of hit a collection of teams where it's just like, yeah, I don't know about the Chargers right now, with kind of already some injuries to the O-line and whatnot. And it's not like Justin Herbert has a ton to work with offensively. So, I need to see that. The Bengals, I need to see them prove that their defense is going to be competent. The Rams, I want to see Matthew Stafford be healthy and what he looks like, because that entire season depends on Matthew Stafford. The 49ers, I mean, Shanahan was already trying to kind of like say, like, let's manage expectations here, because they're already dealing with a collection of injuries. And yeah, Christian McCaffrey, I don't know what he looks like right now because of all of his injuries and whatnot. And then again, it's really kind of a continuation. I could honestly put all those other teams that I mentioned right now in the same category as them in terms of the Bucks, Falcons, Jags, Vikings, Raiders, etc. Because again, it's just like, to me, it's such a fine line between all those teams being legitimate threats and kind of like what Nick said, where you don't necessarily want to face them in the playoffs or not, or a team where you're just like, yeah, they're not bad, you know, they're not terrible, right? Like they're decent, they're a good team. It's not like a walk in the park to beat them, but you're not like, oh, man, we got to go up against, you know, I won't name a team, but like we got to go up against blank. Like, G8, that's going to be a grueling game, man. Oh, add on short rest. Oh, man, dude, no. They got to start off hot, right? Like it's just, I don't know. It's just wait and see, man. Which is never the most popular opinion, but that's really just where my mind is operating right now. It's just wait and see. When you're that close to having new information, trying to form an opinion is just typically not how you're supposed to go about things. If you knew that you were going to get new information over these next couple of days, solidifying an opinion, it's just counter to everything, you know, like it just is. So it's just, that's why it's like I struggle in this moment right now, because I'm just like, it's just not, I always tell you, my mind tries to work as logically as it possibly can. If I was having any conversation about something that was really important in my life and I was talking to my friend, I said, hey, you know, how do I feel about, he would say, well, why don't you just wait a few days? You know, he's like, there's no point in trying to figure this out right now when you're going to get new information in a few days. And it's just like, yeah, logically that 100% makes sense to have a discussion in sports talk and just have fun, not so much. So kind of going up against it, honestly, you know, but just is what it is. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Nick's tiers? Having the Eagles at top, Kansas City Chiefs right below. And you can see the rest. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility in the algorithm. Thank you so much.